Chapter 241 It's time to hunt. Rumble. Following the ancient gesture of pinching by the world-honored one, the situation between heaven and earth suddenly changed, and the sound of thunder came from the void. Suddenly, a curtain of light was reflected from the sky, in which the scene of the battle between the world-honored one and Rahu appeared. Not long after, their battle extended into the depths of Hongmeng, and Feng Haoran arrived with Tuba Nether King and others. Then, several figures came from a distance. These people were the ancestors of the ancient clan. When they saw Feng Haoran, they walked towards him. They talked about something, and then started to move. Everyone watched the scene of what happened before unfold on the light screen. However, just when the ancient clan ancestor was about to defeat Yuan Shi and Daodi, a figure appeared. Buzz! Just when they wanted to see his appearance clearly, the figure of the mysterious man suddenly disappeared. What's going on? World-honored fellow deist, why did you stop at the critical moment? That's right, you will be able to see the person who made the move immediately. You. Several controllers said to the world-honored one very puzzledly, and the latter had a pale face, with beads flowing from his forehead. It can be seen that he was in great pain at this time, because after the disappearance of the divine being, he continued to evolve. But no matter how much Tao origin he poured into him, he could never show it again. It was as if there was a force stopping him, and it was as if the mysterious man didn't exist at all. If he hadn't appeared, everyone might have thought there was no one there. Pfft. The world-honored one let out a muffled groan, and then spat out a mouthful of blood, which made other controllers stunned for a while. World-honored one, fellow deist, what's wrong with you? Wu Shi was the first to come to him, with doubts on his face. Then, everyone came to the world-honored one and looked at him with puzzled faces. Fellow deists, for some reason, I can't evolve his figure at all. It's just, as if there is a mysterious force blocking it, or in other words, he doesn't exist at all. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the world-honored one told the story of his unexpected situation. Judging from the continents controlled by the major controllers, it is extremely easy to evolve a space on the continent. But they had never encountered the situation that the world-honored one mentioned before, which made them all fall into deep thought. After Feng Qunzhu heard this, he couldn't help but glance at his son from the corner of his eye. He sent a message before, only asking me to take Tai Yi into the Palace of Nothingness. What the world-honored one said made Feng Qianjian gain another level of understanding of his son's methods. However, he was quite happy that Feng Haoran had such a method. Hey, it seems that a person who is not weaker than our methods has appeared in Hongmeng. This person is hiding intentionally, and it is almost impossible for us to find him now. Now, the only thing we can do is inform all the creatures on the continent about this news and let them be careful. If anyone discovers this person, they must notify all races as soon as possible. In response to Wu Chang's words, the other controllers nodded, but the world-honored one turned his eyes to Feng Haoran. He still didn't believe in his heart that this mysterious man had nothing to do with Feng Haoran. But because Feng Qunzhu was here, he couldn't ask him any more. If he was pressed, the Tianxi continent might really turn into ruins. Regarding this, he didn't think Feng Qunzhu was joking. For the current plan, the only way is to observe Feng Haoran secretly, wait until he finds the evidence, and then join forces with other controllers to attack Feng Qunzhu. After all, these controllers will definitely intervene in matters concerning their own safety. It seems that this is the only way to go for now. The world-honored one said with a pale face, now that there is no evidence, then his ancestor has fallen, so he can only admit defeat. Okay. Then we will go back first and spread this news in our respective continents. After all the controllers looked at each other, just when they were about to leave, Feng Qunzhu spoke. Everyone, please remember the oath you swore before, my son Haoran, no matter which continent he trains in the future. If you dare to take action, you will not be punished by the rules. By then, this emperor will use all his strength to destroy the continent. Hearing Feng Qianzhu's words, the controllers trembled. They did not feel that this statement was a threat to themselves and others. With his doting on Feng Haoran, if he was really in danger, the balance of the Hongmeng Shifang continent would definitely be disrupted. Don't worry, Zhu Tian, we will certainly remember the promise we made. Wu Shi said to Feng Qianzhu. Yes, since we have sworn a blood oath, we will abide by it. Others also agreed, saying that they would not attack Feng Haoran. Seeing this, Feng Qianzhu nodded with satisfaction, and then looked at Feng Haoran, his eyes full of love. Haoran, you should also improve your strength as soon as possible. Father believes that with your qualifications, you will be able to surpass me in the future. Feng Qianzhu took one step forward, suspended in the void at the same level as Feng Haoran, and patted him on the shoulder. Feng Haoran felt his father's expectations and nodded heavily. Well, father, don't worry. Seeing what their father and son were talking about, all the controllers looked at each other and then left one after another. Because they want to spread the news about the mysterious man to various continents as soon as possible. Otherwise, if like the ancient world-honored one, all the ancestors in the family die, it will be too late. Feng Haoran watched them leave one by one, and before the world-honored one left, his suspicious eyes revealed murderous intent. Feng Haoran also knew that he always had reservations about his doubts. But, does it matter? For Feng Haoran, Tianxi continent is just a springboard for his rise. In the near future, will the Shifang continent in Hongmeng exist? That depends on your own wishes. In the void, at this time, many controllers and Feng Qianzhu had left. Feng Haoran's empty eyes looked into the distance, then he raised the corners of his mouth slightly, outlined an arc, and made a cold sound. Nether King, send a message to Tiankui and ask him to inform Ren Tianxing that the hunting time has arrived. When Tuaba Nether King heard this, he originally had a calm face, but now he showed a ferocious and cruel look. As commanded. Chapter 242 Reactions of Various Races. In the Holy Demon Continent and the Demon Court Emperor City, thousands of prodigies who came from the 9 continents are still clamoring. Since there was no order from Feng Haoran, the Demon Emperor, Demon Venerable, and others in the Demon Court were allowed to stay in the Imperial City. However, at this time, many geniuses received messages saying that Feng Haoran had left the Holy Demon Continent and now appeared in the Tianxi continent. When they learned the news, they were all stunned and extremely angry. He and others went through great hardships to reach the Holy Demon Continent and clamored for such a long time, but they rushed to the heavenly world. Ah damn Feng Haoran, how dare you play tricks on me? What a shame! When we crossed the continent and came here, who would have thought that they had already left? No wonder I have been calling for months, but no one has ever appeared. This kind of villain must not be seen by me, otherwise, I will cut him into pieces. Since he is in Tianxi continent, wouldn't it be better? Yes, if Feng Haoran was in the Holy Demon Continent, I would still have concerns about killing him. But now it's okay. Since he is in heaven, isn't he seeking his own death? Haha, yes, we are rushing to Tianxi Continent now. Just when thousands of Tianjiao want to leave the Demon Court Imperial City and head to the Tianxi Continent. Suddenly, an extremely gloomy sound, like thunder, swayed through the Imperial City with a powerful pressure. Is the Demon Court a place where you can come and leave whenever you want? You have insulted His Highness Emperor Monarch here for months, and today is the time to pay the price. The demon army in the city obeyed the order, and Emperor Monarch had a purpose to kill these young people. No. Rumble. An order was issued, and rumbling sounds were heard from all directions in the Imperial City. This was the sound of the Demon Court's troops stepping on the ground. After thousands of geniuses heard this, their faces were ashen and they looked at each other in disbelief. Why is this like this? Didn't it mean that Feng Haoran didn't dare to kill me? Boom boom. In an instant, Countless black torrents swept towards thousands of geniuses from all directions like surging waves. These demonic armies are powerful and well-trained, like a torrent of steel, unstoppable. Kill. As soon as the word kill came out, the expressions of thousands of geniuses suddenly changed, and they all used their unique skills in an attempt to resist. However, their efforts were like a mantis trying to defeat a chariot in front of the demonic army. For a time, shouts of killing and screams resounded throughout the imperial city. Blood stained the ground red, and broken limbs and remains were scattered everywhere. A bloody massacre began. However, this news was like a bombshell, spreading across the 9 continents in an instant. Thousands of Tianjiao families were furious after hearing about it. They all threatened to cut Emperor Monarch Feng Haoran into pieces. When the controllers of the 9 continents learned the news, they knew that they and others had been tricked by Feng Qianzhu. Since he can't take action, he can only place his hope on the younger members of the family. Then, in Wushang continent, in the Hongmeng Holy Court Saint Sun Hall, Tian's was discussing something with his subordinates at this time. Suddenly, a sound broke through the sky like thunder and passed into the Holy Sun Hall. Tian's and Feng Haoran must die, otherwise Hongmeng will be gradually cannibalized by their father and son. You lead people to the 3rd continent and must kill him with all your strength. I believe that other continents will also send people there. When the time comes, you can join forces and never let him have any chance to breathe. When the voice said this, it disappeared without a trace, and Tian's, who was sitting in a high position, naturally knew who had spoken. Because, in the Hongmeng Holy Court, the only person with such power is the ancestor of their heavenly clan, the Wushu controller. After the sound dissipated, the corners of Tian's mouth raised slightly, revealing an extremely sinister smile. Pass my order to assemble 10,000 holy troops, 100 Hongmeng Dao ancestors, and 10 people in the realm of ancient ancestors, to accompany this temple to the heavenly continent. Yes. Below the main hall, a middle-aged man wearing golden armor responded and then disappeared like a ghost. And Tian's, who was sitting high up, made a cold and bone-chilling sound. Ha, Feng Haoran? I hope you won't disappoint me. This kind of thing also happens in the same way among the controlling groups in other continents. The 3rd continent, Tianxi continent ancient clan. A palace suspended in the void, looking extremely brilliant. At this time, a woman as beautiful as celestial immortal was lying on a large couch. She is wearing an elegant ancient-style gauze dress, her skin is as good as snow, her eyebrows are furrowed, and her beautiful eyes are like autumn water, flowing with a faint ancient charm. A head of black hair hangs down like a waterfall, flowing on the shoulder of the incense, poetic and picturesque. This person is the young master of the ancient clan, who is also the heavenly lady of the ancient clan, the owner of the 10,000 Dao sacred body ranked 16th on the heavenly list, and the ancient Saint Yi. Just as she lazily took the teacup from the maid, suddenly, a voice sounded like thunder. Shenji, the geniuses you sent into the holy demon continent have all fallen. They did not die in Feng Haoran's hands, because Feng Haoran had already arrived at Tianxi continent. A few days ago, the ones I fought with were the protectors around Feng Haoran. This time, our ancient clan not only lost several ancestors, but was also tricked into making a blood oath by Feng Qianzhu. I can no longer interfere in the affairs of your younger generation. Now, the only option is for you to bring the strongest members of your clan to hunt down Feng Haoran. This time, we must not let him grow up again, otherwise, our ancient clan will be in danger. Bang! Hearing this, Gu Shenji immediately exuded a powerful aura, and the teacup in his hand was instantly shattered like fragile porcelain. Her eyes were gloomy, her red lips parted slightly. Feng Haoran, I will kill you. At the same time, the 5th continent, Tianlan Shrine, the palace of the young palace master. A richly dressed young man sat in a high position, his eyes were deep, like the endless starry sky, revealing mysterious mysteries. After hearing the words of the controller of Tianlan, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, outlining an arc. Haha, Feng Haoran, we will meet again soon. Although you have deviated from what I knew in my previous life, you and I must put an end to the hatred in the lower world. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to like and subscribe Chinese Novel Audiowave. Chapter 243 The Clever Xian Yuan Like. The 10th Continent, Xian Yuan Emperor Court of the Purple Saint Continent. In a splendid hall, Xian Yuan was dressed in gorgeous imperial robes, sitting on an honorable throne, as towering as a mountain. At this time, in the main hall, besides him, there was another young man, and he was the emperor's son, Xian Yuan Like. Li Ji, what do you think of Feng Haoran's methods in the Third Continent and the killings in the Holy Demon Continent? Xian Yuan Zhengrong looked friendly and asked Li Ji below with a voice as loud as a bell. After hearing this, the latter pondered for a moment and then said, Father, Feng Haoran not only possesses the forbidden celestial body, but he is also a person who is well versed in strategy. Seeing that Xian Yuan Like spoke so highly of Feng Haoran, Xian Yuan Zhengrong was filled with curiosity and asked, Oh? Then tell me. Since Tian Bang appeared in the world, Feng Qianzhu has stood opposite to Wu Tianwei in order to protect his heirs. After Tianwei abandoned the Holy Demon Continent, Feng Haoran knew that the geniuses from the other 9 continents would definitely send people to test it. Therefore, instead of waiting for the provocation of some cannon fodder in the Holy Demon Continent, he might as well strike first. He secretly sneaked into the world of heaven and allowed those geniuses who went to the Holy Demon Continent to clamor. Then he used a thunderous force to destroy the Fu clan, a vassal force of the ancient clan, in order to tell the people of the 9 continents his current location. Although he was almost killed by the ancient clan ancestor on the way, he was rescued by a mysterious man, which attracted the 9 controllers and his father. As for this mysterious man, even the controller of the world-honored one couldn't see his face clearly. Haha! Then this mysterious person he talks about is really not simple. When Xian Yuan Like said this, he actually smiled meaningfully. After his father Xian Yuan Zhengrong heard this, he pondered for a moment, his pupils suddenly opened, and he took a breath. Hey, you mean, that mysterious person is probably the demon court person? It's not very possible, but, he is originally from the demon court. Buzz. Just when Xian Yuan Like was about to respond, suddenly, another voice came from the hall, like Huang Zhong de Lu, which was deafening. Then the void distorted, a hole opened, and a middle-aged man walked out. This person is none other than the ancestor of the Xian Yuan clan and the controller of the Purple Saint. As soon as he appeared, Xian Yuan Zhengrong and his son immediately stood up, came to him and saluted him. I've met the ancestor. Zai Sheng raised his hand, signaling the father and son to stand up, and then looked at Xian Yuan Like with a look of relief. Zhengrong Na, although you have extraordinary talent in cultivation, your son is even better than you. Not only does he have a great physique, but he is also extremely smart in mind. The ancestor is joking, Li Ji is not lacking anything in front of you. Facing Xian Yuan Like's words, Zai Sheng smiled. Haha! Little guy, don't be humble. You can see this from the news sent back when you are not at the scene. It's really good. Come and tell me why you think the so-called mysterious person belongs to someone close to Feng Haoran. Purple Saint didn't look like a controller at this time. Instead, he was full of affinity and said this in the tone of an elder. Seeing the expectant expression on Zai Sheng's face, Xian Yuan Like didn't show any pretense and began to tell his conjecture. Ancestor, this is actually not difficult. Feng Haoran's explanation seems to be perfect and impeccable. But Li Ji felt that how could a protector with the strength of a controller around him not have a life-saving trick? The two were fighting at that time. When the world-honored one entered the depths of Hongmeng, if Feng Haoran did not have a strong man of the same level beside him, it would be impossible for him to pursue him. Because, if he leaves, there will be many powerful Hongmeng ancestors in Tianxi continent. As far as the ancient clan is concerned, there are quite a few ancestors alone, not to mention some vassals and family enshrinements. Even if Feng Haoren had 2 peak-level experts from the Hongmeng ancestor beside him, it was still difficult to protect him. What's more, his father, Feng Qunzhu, never had the slightest concern about his safety from beginning to end. On the contrary, within 1,000 years of restrictions, the 9 controllers were not allowed to take action against him. Therefore, Li Ji boldly guessed that there must be a strong man with unfathomable strength beside him. And this strong man is the so-called mysterious man in his mouth. As for why he can avoid the world-honored one's deduction of the movement of space, it is unknown. After all, such means are not currently within my reach. Regarding what Xian Yuanlig said, Ziai Sheng nodded with satisfaction, his eyes filled with admiration. Well, not bad, you are worthy of being a member of my Xian Yuan tribe. When Ziai Sheng said this, he paused, then looked at Xian Yuanlig thoughtfully, and spoke again. Li Ji, if you were the leader of the clan now, given the current situation, how would you make a decision? Should we follow Tianwei's words and join forces to fight against the holy demon? Or on the other hand, join Feng Qunzhu's demon court to fight against the other 8 continents? Or should we say, don't help each other and remain neutral? Faced with the question from his ancestor, Xian Yuanlig did not hesitate at all. Ancestor, neutrality has the least value. No matter which one of them wins in the future, it will be of no benefit to the Xian Yuan clan. On the contrary, it will very likely lead to death. Li Ji had discussed this situation with his father before. I think Hongmeng has been comfortable for too long. At the same time, it also caused many geniuses with excellent physiques to lose their Taoist ambition to counterattack. Therefore, I think that what Feng Haoren and his son did is something that many people feel but dare not say. Therefore, Li Ji felt that, instead of being controlled by Tianwei and reduced to a pawn all his life, it would be better to break the current Hongmeng rules with Feng Qunzhu. In that case, all the creatures in Hongmeng will have hope of jumping out in the future. Instead of settling over time, staying at the peak of Hongmeng ancestor forever. Haha. Okay, our Xian Yuan clan has you, and we will definitely be able to reach another level in the future. As soon as Xian Yuanlig finished speaking, Ziai Sheng burst out laughing happily. In fact, as the controller, he has seen through many things, especially Hongmen's will, but his strength is limited and he cannot change anything at all. The self-proclaimed Qunzhu came back from rebirth and saw that he was only at the peak of the ancient demon and could destroy the world lord's physical body. From that moment, he saw hope of breaking through the current situation. Until Feng Qunzhu showed up again a few days ago, he was even more convinced of what he thought. Because his strength has received another incredible improvement, now he may not be his opponent even if the 3 major masters and intermediate masters join forces. Therefore, he was also planning secretly, hoping to join forces with Feng Qunzhu to break this situation. He didn't expect that some of his descendants would have the same idea as him. Li Ji, tell me, when do you think is the best time to join forces with Feng Qunzhu? It's nice to add icing on the cake, but, giving help in times of need is what makes people most sincere. Since Feng Qunzhu forced the major controllers to swear a blood oath, they are not allowed to take action against Feng Haoren for 1,000 years. So, if you think about it, there will definitely be a war against heaven in 1,000 years. Therefore, Li Ji feels that that time is the best time. Chapter 244 Gathering in Tianxi Continent. So, Li Ji feels that that time is the best time. Haha. Yes, I have some news that I haven't told you yet. That is, 1,000 years later, the heavenly seal of the holy demon continent will appear, and when the time comes, the controllers will definitely go to fight for it. And Feng Qunzhu had to face 8 controllers at once, so his chances of winning were indeed slim. If my Xian Yuan clan joins us at that time, I think Feng Qunzhu will definitely be grateful. By then, if he succeeds, our Xian Yuan clan will skyrocket in Hongmeng. Coupled with the frequent emergence of geniuses in the clan, it is no problem to break through the realm of the controller in the future. Xian Yuanlig's suggestion made Purple Saint very satisfied. When the former heard that the holy demon Heavenly Seal was born 1,000 years later, he was stunned for a while, and then showed a look of sudden realization. Let me tell you, why did Feng Qinjia force the controllers not to take action against Feng Haoran for 1,000 years? It turns out that such a big thing happened, it seems. I have to make plans early. A few months later, in the Shenzhou city of Tianxi continent, many strange faces have recently arrived. And these people all came from other continents. Their purpose was very simple, to kill Feng Haoran and avenge the death of the genius who died in the Holy Demon continent. Of course, there are also some people who spy on Feng Haoran's strength on behalf of the major controller clans. Shenzhou city, the original land of the Fu clan, has now been reduced to ruins, but a mighty and domineering huge palace with wanton divine light appears in the sky above it. And this palace is Feng Haoran's accompanying palace, the Palace of Nothingness. At this time, in the Palace of Nothingness, Feng Haoran was dressed in white robes and sitting on the main seat. His wide cuffs and back were dotted with golden ancient magic patterns like stars, and there was a faint magic light that lingered around him. At this time, he was in a high position and came to the world like a demon from the 9 nether abyss. He lowered his eyes slightly and glanced at the people below with a hawk-like gaze. Now, Tian Kui, Zhang Ruoxian and others have returned, and there is also a young man Feng Haoran has never met. And this person is the person saved by Zhang Ruoxian and Li Machen, and he is Zhan Yuming. Today, in the Tianxi continent, many geniuses and powerful people have arrived from other continents. Many of these people came to test my strength. In these days, Nether King and Yuning stopped many of them. And based on this situation, there will definitely be more and more people in the future, and even the evil geniuses from the controlling clan will come in person. Therefore, I believe that if someone comes again in the future, you don't need to hold back, just kill them. Feng Haoran's eyes were as bright as lightning and he spoke to the people in the palace. When Tuoba Nether King heard this, he was filled with joy. Before, Emperor Monarch did not give the order, so he did not dare to make a fatal move. As a result, many geniuses came to pick fights and acted fearlessly, which made him gnash his teeth with hatred. It's okay now. Emperor Monarch gave an order so that they don't have to hold back anymore, so he won't be able to beat them to death in the future. It's Emperor Monarch. No, Your Highness. Facing Feng Haoran's order, everyone responded one after another, but among them, there was still one person who was at a loss. And this person was Zhan Yuming, who came to the Palace of Nothingness for the first time. When he saw a powerful genius like Li Machen saluting the young man in charge and calling him Emperor Monarch, his heart suddenly felt like a mess. Zhan Yuming took a deep breath and calmed down his mind. He realized that the identity of the young man in charge must be extraordinary. Since Zhang Ruoxian did not introduce him, in order to clear up the confusion, he took a step forward, cupped his fists and saluted Feng Haoran. I am fighting without my life. I am from the heavenly continent. I don't know who you are. Oh. I actually forgot about you. Before Zhan Yuming could finish speaking, Zhang Ruoxian rushed to speak. Haoran, Zhan Yuming is the genius that Mo Chen and I rescued when we first came to Tianxi continent. That day, he was being hunted by the heavenly made subordinates of the ancient clan. Seeing that he had extraordinary qualifications, we took action to rescue him. Zhang Ruoxian finished speaking, then stared at Zhan Yuming, and continued. Brother Wuming, the person above the throne is Feng Haoran, the only son of the heavenly demon emperor of the holy demon continent, who is also an anomaly in Tianwei's mouth. What? He is actually the owner of the forbidden celestial body. Feng Haoran, the son of the heavenly demon emperor. Zhang Ruoxian's words were like a thunderbolt from the blue. Zhan Yuming stumbled as if he had been struck by lightning, almost losing his balance. Fortunately, Li Machen, who was closest to him, had quick eyesight and quick hands, and supported him, preventing him from falling to the ground. At this time, facing Feng Haoran, his face was full of fear. Although he was born into a small clan, these 3 words Feng Haoran are as loud as thunder. After all, when the heavenly list is opened, the heavenly demon emperor will confront the willful heavenly power. Who in Hongmeng doesn't know? Zhan Muming composed himself and looked at Feng Haoran again, with a trace of doubt in his eyes besides fear. He couldn't understand why Feng Haoran, who was being beaten and killed by the geniuses of the 9 continents, appeared here? Isn't the safest place today the Holy Demon Continent? But he just came to Tianxi Continent. Isn't this asking for death? Feng Haoran seemed to see through his thoughts, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, and he spoke unhurriedly. You don't have to be nervous. Since you were rescued by Ruoxian and Mo Chen, from today on, you are my own. With me here, the ancient clan goddess dare not do anything to you. Of course, I also know what you are worried about. Haha. It's not that I look down on the geniuses of the 9 continents, but even if they come together, what do I have to fear? After Zhan Muming heard this, he was secretly surprised and relieved at the same time. Hey! Immediately, after looking around the hall for a week, he finally understood why Feng Haoran dared to be so confident. Because he saw that everyone in the hall was either a powerful man exuding an extremely terrifying aura, or a peerless evildoer like Li Machen, like a dragon or a phoenix among men. With people like them following him, no wonder he would ignore the shouts of the geniuses from the 9 continents, and even, he would take action to fight back. When he thought of this, he felt that his opportunity had come. So, he took a step forward and respectfully thanked Feng Haoran. Thank you, Emperor Monarch. From now on, the life I fight without life will belong to Emperor Monarch. After hearing this, Feng Haoran nodded and was about to say something else to everyone. Suddenly, outside the Nihilite palace, a Buddha's name sounded like the sound of heaven. Amitabha. Chapter 245 Buddha, Mingjin. Amitabha. This Buddha Mingjin has long heard about the name of the benefactor. I am here today. Please show up to see him. This sound carries boundless dharma, like the sound of heaven, with extremely strong penetrating power, constantly lingering around the temple of nothingness. As the lord of the shrine, Feng Haoran, after hearing this voice, appeared in the void with Tuoba Nether King, Zhang Ruoxian, and others. In the distance, there are several figures, all of them bald monks. Although the leader was bald, he could not conceal his handsome appearance. He was wearing a blood-red cassock, and his whole body was exuding a faint blazing Buddha light. Coupled with the blood-colored Buddha pattern between his eyebrows, the overall look was extremely monstrous. He saw Feng Haoran appear with a group of geniuses, put his hands together, and shouted the Buddha's name again. Amitabha, I thought the benefactor was Feng Haoran, but now that I see him, he is indeed extraordinary. This Buddha Mingjin is the son of Buddha in the heavenly Buddha hall on the 4th continent, because this Buddha has been in retreat. After coming out of seclusion, the infinite Buddha said that you are an anomaly in Hongmeng today. Therefore, I came here today to personally verify whether the so-called anomalies really exist. Feng Haoran's eyes narrowed slightly, he looked at Mingjin and said calmly. It turned out to be the 17th ranked owner of the immeasurable Buddha body, the son of the Buddha of the heavenly Buddha hall in Sumi continent. Don't use the guise of some strange statement to say something so high-sounding. If you want to destroy me, you can just say it directly. I'm not interested in verification or anything like that, I still like to decide life or death through a battle. Buzz boom. After finishing speaking, Feng Haoran's aura erupted, and terrifying pressure swept out. Seeing this, Mingjin raised the corners of his mouth slightly, a golden Zen staff appeared in his hand, took a step forward, and shouted loudly. In that case, let's use this Buddha's move, the mighty divine palm. Buzz. Rumble. A huge golden palm appeared out of thin air and struck Feng Haoran with terrifying power. Feng Haoran shouted loudly and punched out, and the power of the Demon King in his body suddenly surged. Buzz hu! A shadow of a fist surrounded by demonic energy collided with the golden palm in an instant. Boom! The two collided, causing an earth-shattering noise that made the void tremble. Ming Jin's face changed slightly. He didn't expect Feng Haoran to be so powerful. He could catch his mighty palm with just his physical strength. Moreover, the opposite side is only the Demon King's 9th layer. As for me, the Dao Emperor 9th layer is only one step away from entering the venerable realm. He was a big difference from me, but he defeated his attack so easily. However, as a Buddhist disciple of Tianfo Hall, although he was shocked in his heart, he did not show it on his face. He was extremely confident in his own strength and launched another attack. Buzz! He waved out his hand, his broad sleeves and robe fluttering in the wind, and he suddenly grasped his palm. Suddenly, a simple Zen staff appeared in his hand. Dang! Ming Jin was seen standing the Zen staff in front of him, pinching the magic formula with both hands, and chanting Sanskrit sounds in his mouth. Buzz! Ling-ling! The Zen staff kept rotating, making a silver bell sound, and golden light suddenly burst out. Suddenly, the Zen staff turned into dazzling golden light and soared into the sky. In an instant, it transformed into a long golden dragon. Yin! The golden dragon hovered in the void, sending out bursts of dragon power with majestic momentum, swinging in the air. When Feng Haoran saw this, his pupil shrank, feeling that this powerful dragon had a heaven-destroying aura. He didn't dare to be careless and used all his magic power, and a huge phantom of the devil appeared behind him. Roar! The phantom of the demon god looked up to the sky and roared, then waved his giant fist and hit the golden dragon hard. Boom! The two collided, making an earth-shattering sound, and the space seemed to be shattered. Ming Jin recited Buddhist scriptures and controlled the golden dragon to fight fiercely with the demon's shadow. For a time, the sky and the earth changed color, and the wind and clouds surged. Several geniuses from the Tianfo Hall said excitedly when they saw Ming Jin perform such a powerful attack. Haha! What the Buddha has displayed is the might of the heavenly staff and the dragon. How can a small phantom of the devil be able to resist it? That's right, it's undeniable that this kid has some strength, but he's still not good enough in front of us Buddhist disciples. Hee. In my opinion, this guy has a false reputation. With just this little strength, he still has forbidden anomalies in the celestial body. Yes, if you ask me, his strength is slightly stronger than ordinary geniuses, and he is no match for Buddha. The geniuses of Tianfo Hall were confident in Ming Jin's fighting power. Even an old monk next to them nodded with satisfaction. In the void, Feng Haoran heard the discussion of everyone in the Tianfo Hall, and raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing a sneer. He suddenly activated his magic power, and the aura of the demon's phantom suddenly increased greatly. Buzz! Boom! Crush it for me! As he roared angrily, the demon god's phantom's fist hit the golden dragon hard on the head. Bang! Yin! The golden dragon whined, the light suddenly dimmed, and then exploded. Boom! Aha! Ming Jin snorted and took a few steps back, with a look of disbelief on his face. How is it possible? He widened his eyes and looked at Feng Haoran in disbelief. What? How is this possible? It was clearly the Buddha who had the upper hand just now, this. Below, the disciples of Tianfo Hall couldn't believe the facts in front of them. At this time, the old monk's expression suddenly changed, his eyebrows knitted together, and he couldn't help but secretly thought. Is this the strength of the forbidden celestial body? The cultivation level is obviously a big difference, but it shocked the Buddha. In the void, Feng Haoran looked at Ming Jin coldly, then he took a step forward and said proudly. You alone want to test my strength? I don't know what to say. Before he finished speaking, his figure flashed again and rushed towards Ming Jin like a ghost. Everyone in the Tianfo hall suddenly exclaimed, "No!" However, the next moment, their voices stopped abruptly. Feng Haoren stretched out his hand to grab it, and the Zen staff in Ming Jin's hand fell into his hand. He looked at Ming Jin coldly and said, "Your Zen staff is quite good, but unfortunately, with your strength, you are still unable to exert its full power." After saying that, Feng Haoren threw it away casually. Whoops! The Zen staff flew out like a meteor and was inserted into the ground in the distance. Choke! The Zen staff was inserted into the ground and made a roar, and the whole scene instantly became silent. Ming Jin clutched her chest, her eyes flickering with reluctance. She was a disciple of the Buddha in the Heavenly Buddha Hall and the owner of the 17th Infinite Buddha body on the heavenly list. How could she admit defeat so easily? So, he sat cross-legged in the void and silently recited Sanskrit sounds. Buzz! Suddenly, a terrifying bloody Buddha light was released from Ming Jin's body. Generally, Buddha's light is golden, but his is blood-colored. In an instant, the bloody Buddha's light connected with the sky, covering Ming Jin's body and expanding dozens of times. Rumble! Buddha said, "If I don't go to hell, who will?" Feng Haoren, today this Buddha will let you experience the power of the infinite blood Buddha after rebirth in hell. Buzz! Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiowave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.